Flight Boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Terry's Moon, Flight Boss, the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God's duties and motherfucking responsibilities. Now, here's what we need to understand about a few things, right? Because this even going back to a few questions I was even asked on their show, but for the most part, this is just understanding religion in general. The books about religion, if you really just take a step back and look at common sense, it's basically describing a specific thing. They all describing the same thing. The moment y'all start to use y'all symbols and sigils and things of that nature, that's when you get lost. So I'm going to try to help you understand what all of the religions is basically explaining without no form of indoctrination. So let's get a few things clear first. Now, I like to call everything stars, whether it's the largest star to the smallest particle. I like to, or mineral, molecule, whatever y'all want to call it. I like to call everything just a different shape and form of a star. So once you understand that, you're going to understand what all the ancients and everything was trying to explain and why they correlated everything to stars. Because what I'm going to tell you is, if you get indoctrinated, I'm just going to say replace the word star with person. So if all the ancients is explaining birth, so get life and death out of your mind. Get life and death out of your mind. That's ain't nothing but transformation. Only thing these things is explaining is birth. Birth. Your birth. Now there's different births in different realms of realities, but this is where y'all going to get lost into what y'all think of what planets is and what stars is. And I'm going to help y'all understand it without being indoctrinated. When you just look at it, and then you looking at every other one, and then you be like, oh, okay, this is what the fuck they're saying. This common sense. So like I said, if you wanna make it simple, I like to say everything is a star. So let's just say everything is a person. So if they're describing that we're within a star, they're describing how stars are born. So the same things that you see out there, they're explaining how you're in that same process. But let's not get lost, because it's trying to explain to you how you're in a world within a world within a world. So if you look at the eyeball, you see it has 3 layers. The 3 layers is telling you, but let's not get lost into that, because now y'all gonna try to take that and confuse it with a bunch of other stuff. So let's just talk about the natural genesis of every religion, and this is what it's trying to explain to you. And if you just use your common sense, it's trying to tell you that you got birth inside of something. So you got birth inside of a, let's just use the term being, before you want to get lost into saying, oh, well, planets is alive and things of that nature. You got birth within a being. That's what it's trying to tell you. So use your common sense now. Use your common sense now. And you could go back to this term. Oh, he said they call it stars, but he said if you just replace it as person, now that'll make sense. Okay, now let's replace star and let's just say we in a person. Let's just say that the ancients is trying to describe that we live in a person. You're going to tell me you don't believe that, right? And you're going to tell me I'm in some form of indoctrination. But if I ask you where you came from, what is you getting ready to tell me? A person, right? Duh. But you came from a person, right? But when you came from that person, you wasn't the same size of that person, was you? Was you? You was inside that person, wasn't you? And you got birthed out of that person. You got birthed out of the father through a sperm cell. Then you went into the egg and got developed with all the blood that developed into organs. Then you got birthed, then you grew and developed. Then you was able to sustain yourself to get birthed out of what you was just in. So what kind of common sense that you would give me to try to explain that we're not on that process again? What will make you think that we're not on that same process, just in a more larger way? And we got more of a perception of something. And we have more of an access of something. So we're able to have more perception. So who's to say that the next level of life wouldn't be more of a perception than this? See, and this is where y'all get lost into planets and realms of realities. So if I was to tell you, that, going back to this, we're in a world that's in a world that's in a world. What if I was to tell you that world is a person, is a being, right? Right? What if I was to tell you that? And what if I was to tell you, you is just a living cell in that being, the same way, and a developed cell in that being, the same way you was in a being that you came out of previously? Who's to say that the ancients and the religion is not saying that? See, now y'all lost in indoctrination and shit. And I'm just making sense. You see what I'm saying? So, let me put it to you this way. Before we get, I want to present something that'll be a form of lostness to y'all, but it's really not a form of lostness at all. But I'm gonna say something to make you think it's lost. What if I was to tell you that blood or any form of fluid in our realm of reality that is a denser version of music in a higher realm of reality? So all my newcomers that's super logical, I want y'all to think about that. What if I told y'all that every concept that we got of all the concepts of metaphors of us saying that going with the flow or something, or you know what I'm saying, resonating with something, or the manifestation of music in general, where sounds is coming together in a harmonious state. What if I was to tell you that that's a higher vibration, or in a higher realm of, or a less dense version of what we see as water or blood or any form of fluid? Now, it'll take a scientist 20 to 50 years to understand something like that. But I just helped y'all evolve from that. So you could think right now to yourself in 2018 that what I just said was stupid, right? 50 years from now, right? When scientists start correlating this shit and start understanding and start using common sense, you're gonna go back to Doe Little Pilot Man video and be like, God damn, that was motherfucker the ancient of our times. Believe that. I'm not even gonna sit here and explain, because my soul group already know what kind of channeling I can get to where how I just came to that conclusion. But for the people who don't know and the scientists who don't know, I'm gonna leave y'all there, and I'm gonna let y'all drive for 50 years before y'all get an understanding of that. Now, until you understand that we are inside of a being, you will start to understand things a lot more clear. So when you'll start to understand what you're looking at when you call a quote unquote solar system a solar system. So what I would tell you is, you're just a mini version of a solar system, and you're within a solar system. And you have to get birthed out of that solar system, and you will be able to see things the way that solar system sees it. So this is what I mean about realm of reality. Now, I can explain it in a physics way or y'all kind of way in this realm of reality. Like if y'all want to take a spaceship and leave a pore of this person, and y'all don't understand what's going on. When I say realm of reality as far as the realm we are in right now, this is why you can't perceive that realm of reality, because you have to be, this is why I say you have to be birthed there. Because the form that you taking right now is in the form and mixture and mingling of these elements and these chemicals in this realm of reality, aka light, information, right? So since you're in this realm of reality, you got birth in this realm of reality. So any perception that you have in a higher realm is going to be limited. So all things that you can perceive in this realm is in this realm. So y'all are just quote unquote calling this realm Earth realm. Then y'all get lost in the terms and get indoctrinated by years and years of other people and their own imagination and perception about it, to the point that y'all done created formalizations of Earth. So now y'all got different shapes and forms of Earth. Y'all got a globe Earth. Y'all got things that's in Earth. Rocks is Earth. The ground is Earth. When if you just understand things with common sense, you would understand that everything you perceive in this realm is what make up the Earth realm. Now, if you was to go to another realm, it'll be something else. I don't want to call it fire or water or air, but it may be whatever that realm of reality you get birthed into. And however your system correlate, and however you're able to, you're always receiving. I don't know why scientists and y'all logic people get this concept of you're pushing out anything. You're always receiving. Do you understand that? So you're receiving the elemental surroundings of the realm you're in. So once you outweigh this, now we can get to how do you get birth to another realm of reality, because you're not going to travel there with a spaceship. You're not going to escape any kind of aid. You're not going to escape any kind of aid. I'm telling you that right now. So y'all get lost in that shit. Don't get lost in that shit. In that NASA shit. Now, don't get lost in me saying don't get lost in NASA either. I look at NASA also. I'm saying don't get indoctrinated. That's what I'm saying. See, this is weird. Now listen. I'm going to explain how you get birth. Same way, it's the same process, just in a larger level of life. How you got birth through your father by him spitting you out through his world, that semen world, and you was one of them sperm cells through the semen. as one of the first bodies, one of the first atoms. Then you went into the mother, and then that's when you go into the womb, the world. Another version like you're in right now, where you develop enough information, and whoever received enough information about their surroundings and what's ahead of them, that will be the person who quote unquote reached the egg. So when they reach the egg, they shed from that body, because that body hardened, like that body dies, it hardened up, becomes the skull and the spinal cord, and is able to develop all the blood, that the blood clusters inside the egg that end up developing into the organs, which is your brain, your heart, and all that shit, your kidneys and shit, and they hang off the sperm cell, which hardens up and develop in the womb. So they hang off of them. So what develops in the womb was the sperm cell, which created the hardness of your skull and your spinal cord, and then everything that came from the egg cell was the blood shit, which is your fluid and everything that's hanging off your spinal cord and your skull, which is what's in your skull, your brain, what's hanging off your heart. All these things is, what the fuck? What's so hard to understand? Now that you understand that, now you're gonna be able to understand what all your religion books is even talking about now. Now that you understand that. Now how you get birth, we on the same process that we was there, just in a bigger, larger life way. So you thinking like you probably lost in indoctrination. Oh, so he's saying when we go to another realm of reality, we're going to see the planets face to face. No, when you go there, you're going to be seeing something the same way you looking at me, another motherfucking person. And y'all just going to have more access and more aligning, more access to the elements or whatever realm that you are in. It's a larger life. Same way you are a larger life from you being just when you was just a cell inside your father and your mother. Now, when you die, like I said, now for my spiritual people, I'm going to call it spirit. For my atheist people and super logical people, let's just say you're conscious, right? When you die and transform from a body, which is a cell, right? When that die, that spirit or conscious outweighs that and is able to take a larger body. And that's when you're able to be birthed into that realm of reality. Now, it's like reaching the egg here. Whoever gained the most information and knowledge and experience in this realm, right? They developed enough consciousness or enough experiences on their spirit to when they die from this physical, they can be birthed into the higher realm and take a larger cell, a larger sperm cell, aka they be in a larger body. You get birthed out into the larger world, and you'll be able to see the world that you are in right now as a person like you. That's what you need to understand. So, when we talk about, now, I know the next question y'all probably ask, then what happened to all the cells that don't reach the egg? Well, those are people who didn't have enough experiences, didn't gain enough wisdom in the cell that they was in. So when they died, their consciousness is still in that level of life. So it ended up taking another shape and form based upon whatever they was resonating with. That conscious spirit, that consciousness take another shape and form, aka another cell in that same level of life, to experience the same level of life until it learned enough to reach the egg. Now learning is just, in every realm of reality, is a form of gaining wisdom and knowledge. So right now, y'all are proving to me that y'all got to the level of this life, which is the third dimension. That's why you got the 3 circles. Y'all got to this level, but y'all are proving to me that y'all done been here for ages. Y'all's conscious spirit just been taking different shapes and forms here. Y'all ain't never reached the egg yet. Here, I just came here just to see that. Y'all ain't reaching the motherfucking egg here yet, because y'all not even understanding. Yo. Now, this goes deep. If you want to understand the first people who are reaching eggs here, you have to look at it like this. You have to look at the people who actually created a language that a large amount of people agree to the terms and conditions of. You got to actually look at the people who created certain doctrines, certain theologies that, or certain philosophies that a large percentage of the world agree on, right? These are the people who reach the egg, right? And when they reach the egg, they end up being representations or influences in the sky that y'all would perceive as light or something like that, or a source. And it goes even deeper than this. We even give these influences the same fucking names. Do you get it? So when you hear shit like Mars, or when you hear shit like the sun, I don't care if you call it S-U-N, S-O-N, that's just the consciousness or the spirit taking that shape and form at the time. So these are all forms and bodies. So let's not get lost. See what I'm saying? And we all inhabit bodies as spirits. Or atheists, for my atheists, we say consciousness. So, when you're looking at a solar system, you are a mini solar system. So when you are looking at like Venus and Mars and the sun, let's say when you're looking at the sun, right? You're looking at the centerpiece of a brain. All the stars you see around it is the tissue. What you think is space or dark matter is actually a higher frequency, a higher vibration of blood or fluid that these things that you do see as lights travel through, aka cells. You are just a cell the same way these stars are a cell. You are a cell within a cell. You are a star within a star. You are a person within a person. Do you understand? So you got you, the third dimension, the 1, 2, 3. Boom. You got the solar system, which is the 4, 5, 6, which is the oversoul planet, then the sun, 6th dimension. Then you got the motherfucking universe, which is the 7, 8, 9. See what I'm saying? The solar system will be like everything up under it together. So the sun leads the solar system. So that begins the 7. Then you got 8 will be a galaxy. Then you got 9 will be a universe. But see, y'all confused and lost in y'all indoctrination when it's really trying to tell you it's people. Motherfucker. It's people that you are in. So when you are looking out inside of a person. You think you are looking out, but you are looking within a person. It's common sense. Anybody can understand this. Now, don't get lost into all the stories behind it, because this is where you'll get lost in what level of life they actually talking about. You know what I'm saying? You don't know if they talking about the 4th dimensional life, which is the next level, since you in the third dimension, the more you learn about the planets, the stars, your surroundings, the more you learn how to use reasoning, your ability to reason, because that's the alpha brainwave you have right now, the ability to reason. The more you learn about your surroundings and knowing how to resonate, the more you have access to reaching the egg. You will learn how to come up with your own language. The same way other people came up with a language that you agree to the terms and conditions of. Now, if your ass ain't jumping into no realm of reality with putting that into fruition, that's your fault. That's your fault you don't want to reach no kind of egg. Now, don't get lost into thinking that's the only way to reach an egg if you come up with your own language. Anything you do as a large magnitude or a large influence is your way of reaching the egg and going to a higher level of life. Understand that. Flight boss, bitch. Goddamn air.